gavel struck wood, echoing through the tense courtroom like a gunshot. Every head turned toward the bench where Judge Walter Grayson sat, silver-haired, stern, and known for his old-fashioned ways. His reputation carried whispers of bias, but no one ever dared to say it out loud. Until now. Across the courtroom, Denise Parker sat frozen at the plaintiff's table, her hands trembling in her lap. Her dark curls framed a face that had known more worry than sleep. She wore her best navy blouse, ironed twice the night before, but her eyes, those tired, beautiful eyes, looked like they hadn't seen peace in years. Her attorney leaned close and whispered, "Stay calm, Denise. We've got this." But Denise's gaze was fixed on one person, the man sitting a few feet away. Her ex-husband, Travis Moore. White, polished, wearing a smug grin and an expensive suit that screamed arrogance. Their divorce had been brutal, but this custody hearing, this was war. And Judge Grayson had already made it clear whose side he was leaning toward. "Mrs. Parker," Judge Grayson's voice rolled like distant thunder, "you may proceed." Denise swallowed hard, stood, and walked toward the witness stand. Her heels clicked softly against the marble floor. She wasn't just walking to testify, she was walking to fight for her child. Her son, Malik, sat in the gallery beside his grandmother, clutching a small toy car. He was only 8, but his wide, observant eyes darted from his mother to the judge, sensing the storm even if he didn't understand it. Denise's voice quivered at first. "Your Honor, I've done everything right. I've kept my job, I've kept a safe home. Malik is my world. All I want." Grayson cut her off. "Mrs. Parker, this isn't about what you want. It's about what's best for the child. And from what I've seen, your environment may not be suitable." A sharp murmur rippled through the courtroom. Denise froze, her breath catching in her chest. "My environment?" she asked quietly. "What does that mean, sir?" The judge glanced over his glasses, lips tightening. "It means a boy needs stability, guidance, discipline."
Alpropeu bringing.
And in that moment the veil dropped. The bias wasn't even subtle. Denise could feel it like poison in the air. She didn't cry, though. She wouldn't give him that satisfaction. She just nodded slowly, gripping the edges of the stand until her knuckles turned white. Travis's attorney smirked. "Your Honor, my client has demonstrated consistent financial stability, a large home in a secure neighborhood, and the moral framework that—" Denise couldn't help it. She snapped. "He cheated. He lied. He hit me." Gasps filled the room. Travis straightened in his seat, his smile fading. Judge Grayson slammed his gavel. "Order. Mrs. Parker, you will restrain yourself or be held in contempt." Her attorney gently touched her arm. "Denise, please." She sat down slowly, tears threatening but never falling. What no one in that room knew, not yet, was that Denise had something the judge and her ex could never have imagined. A truth buried in digital silence. 3 weeks earlier, Denise had overheard something. A private conversation in the judge's chambers after her pre-hearing motion was denied. She'd left her phone on record mode by accident, until she heard her own name. Judge Grayson's voice. "That woman's wasting her time. She'll never raise that boy right. Not with her kind of background. The father's clearly more suitable. We'll make sure of it." Denise had played that clip 100 times in her small apartment. Every time she wept. But today was different, because her lawyer had a plan. The opposing attorney rose for his final argument. "Your Honor, my client provides not only material comfort but moral leadership. The child's exposure to certain influences in the mother's environment could hinder his development." That was it. That word, influences. It burned like acid. Denise's attorney stood slowly. "Permission to submit new evidence, Your Honor." Judge Grayson frowned. "You're out of time for submissions, Counselor." "Respectfully, Your Honor," the attorney said, "this evidence directly pertains to judicial bias. If you deny it, I'll have no choice but to file a motion for recusal." The courtroom went silent. Even Travis looked confused now. The attorney held up a small silver USB drive. This recording was obtained legally by my client on the date of her pretrial meeting. Judge Grayson's face went pale. Counselor, this is outrageous. You cannot. But the attorney was already walking toward the clerk. It's relevant, Your Honor. It contains your voice. Grayson slammed his gavel. Court is adjourned. Play it, Denise said suddenly, her voice cutting through the room like glass. Do you want to read these out loud? Or should I? The judge froze. Every camera in the courtroom was already rolling. Reporters leaned forward. And then, the audio played. That woman's wasting her time. She'll never raise that boy right. Not with her kind of background. The father's clearly more suitable. We'll make sure of it. Gasps, whispers, murmurs that grew into chaos. Grayson's face turned crimson. He stood abruptly, knocking over his water glass. This is inadmissible, he barked. This session is over, Denise's lawyer said quietly. Yes, I think so. Security rushed to the front as the bailiff whispered into the clerk's ear. Even Travis sat frozen, his face drained of blood. The truth had detonated right in front of everyone. Within hours, the courtroom footage went viral. #Justice for Denise trended nationwide. The clip of Judge Grayson's voice, his bias laid bare, echoed across every news network. 3 days later, Denise returned to the same courthouse, but this time the energy was different. Reporters lined the steps. Supporters held signs. Malik held her hand tightly, his small fingers wrapped around hers. Inside, a new judge presided, a younger black woman named Judge Rivera. Her presence alone shifted the air in the room. Mrs. Parker, Judge Rivera began softly, I've reviewed all the evidence and the prior judge's conduct. What happened to you was not only unjust, it was unlawful. Custody is hereby restored to you, full and permanent. Denise closed her eyes. Her knees almost gave out, but Malik's hand steadied her. The gallery erupted in applause. At the defense table, Travis stared at the floor. For once, he had nothing to say. Judge Rivera continued, as for Judge Grayson, he will face the Judicial Review Board for misconduct and racial bias. No one is above the law, not even a judge. Later, outside the courthouse, Denise faced the cameras. The wind tugged at her hair, but her voice was strong. I didn't record him for revenge, she said. I did it because people like him make women like me feel invisible. But not anymore. My son will grow up knowing his mother fought, and won the right way. Malik hugged her waist. We did it, Mom, he whispered. She smiled through tears. Yeah, baby, we did. Across town, at a quiet diner, Judge Grayson sat alone in a corner booth. His reputation was gone, his name on every news ticker. The waitress set down his coffee without making eye contact. The once powerful man looked small now. Just another reminder that power means nothing when truth finally catches up. And somewhere in the distance, Denise Parker tucked Malik into bed. He looked up at her with sleepy eyes. Mom, are we safe now? She kissed his forehead. We're free, sweetheart. That's even better. Outside, thunder rolled softly. But this time it wasn't a storm. It was peace returning home. Backhand index pointing right if you believe in justice, truth, and the power of a mother's fight. Hit subscribe right now. Every story we tell shines a light where others stay silent. Backhand index pointing right because stories like this aren't just entertainment. They're reminders that silence protects no one and truth saves lives.